Okay, so in this video we'll just create a very simple flow just to give you an idea of what Workflow Studio can do. So when you hit the create flow button, this is the first thing that you'll see. So we're now in the actual designer, and effectively every flow needs to be started with a trigger, and we're going to look at two common ones here. So in this one we'll look at the inbound call, and we'll do another one where you can expose the trigger as a API endpoint that you can just call. So we're going to use endpoint ringing, and this is obviously to take an inbound call. So we're going to add a number here, a new one that we haven't used yet, and this one is extension 6670. So we add that, and we've connected that extension to a external number, so we can call it externally. So once I click OK, you can see we've got our starting node here. If I click on it, this is the same for all nodes. You can click the pencil icon there, and obviously you can then change the name of it. So let's just say inbound call. You can call it what you like basically. And then that's our first node. If I hover the mouse just slightly to the right, you'll see there's a plus sign. If I hit the plus sign, we've got a number of icons that show media user management, that's the developer, routing, messaging, and so on. So at the moment, let's just play a simple greeting. So when the call gets answered, we want a greeting to be played. So if I click the greeting symbol, again, let's just say play welcome message. We can use an existing greeting, so if you've got a WAV file or MP3, you can play that. You can record your own greeting. What we're going to do at the moment is just a text to speech, and it will just say something like and you'll notice here that we've got a number of predetermined AI voices, male and female, and different locales as well. So in this instance, let's just pick a English, and this is Emma female. What you can also do is click the play icon to see what it sounds like.
Hello, thank you for calling.
There's also an option here to enable speech recognition. So this is the typical use case here is it plays a greeting and then it's going to wait for you to say something. In this case, we're just going to play the greeting, so we click OK. And then the next thing we want to do is a dial menu. So a common thing is an IVR where you say or press 1 for this, 2 for that. So we can do that again by just clicking to here, and you'll see the first option is dial menu. So if I click that, you'll see again, just like we had in the greeting, you can use existing sound clips, or you can just again use text to speech. So we're just going to say, what do you want to do today? Question mark. And then let's keep that as Emma female as well, so it's consistent with the greeting message. And then we're actually going to enable speech recognition, because what we want to do is we want the message played to the caller, and then the caller can actually say what it is they want to do. We need to capture that speech, and then we can do the routing. You can see that even the speech recognition is based on different dialects as well. Let's just set that to English British. So if I click OK, you'll see now we've got a number of options here. By default, it will create a branch where it's expecting a match. You can say allow partial match, so let's just say appointment, book an appointment, I'll say new appointment. So what we're looking here is if any of these phrases are actually said, then that's where we want to route the flow. You'll see if there's no match, so at the moment if the caller says something that's not in any of those words, by default it just fills this in, so it's basically what do you want to do. So let's just change the name of this dial menu and say choose action. Okay, then if I click this repeat, if I click on that, it'll just say where do you want to go to, and it's already defaulted back to here. So if it doesn't understand, we can just route round. If it totally fails for any reason, we can add a fallback here. We can either transfer that call to a human, or we could do another go repeat. I'm just going to leave that for now. So this is, if you like, the happy path. These are the two sort of failure paths. If you want to as well, you can also say have another, if you like, a happy path, and let's just say get appointments. So I'm going to say list appointments, and then so now we've got two sets of keywords to match on. If it fails, it's going to repeat. If this hits here, it's just going to hang up. We can also explicitly define that now by doing a hang up call. So if I put that there, it's just going to hang up the call. Okay, so all we need to do now is then add something here. So let's just say, let's add another greeting. And what we'll say is, we're not going to put anything clever in this. We're just going to say, thank you, your appointment is booked. And we'll keep the speech consistent again. And then we'll do a useful feature as well in Workflow Studio. If you've got a node doing something specific, you can just copy and paste it. So if I copy that and then go to here, I can literally just paste it, and I can just click on that and then change it and say, so this is the list appointments node. We'll just say that. Again, what you can do is as well, after these two routes, they would carry on to here. We can just hang up the call again. Just as simple as that. Click OK, and you can click save, and then we can test it. So let me just click save. And what we're going to do now is just actually call this number.
Hello, thank you for calling. What do you want to do today?
Book an appointment.
Thank you. Your appointment is booked.
So that's obviously detected that I said book an appointment, played us the greeting, and then it just hung up the call. Obviously, in a real world situation, we'd call out to some service to actually go and either add a calendar entry or integrate with some third party software that would actually book an appointment in a calendar. So that's a really simple example there. Just one thing to note actually, which I had done the first time, is I ticked allow partial match, which you wouldn't do in this case because we've got these words if they appear in more than one place. In other words, we want someone to actually say book an appointment. If you allow partial match and I say list appointments, then it would probably trigger this as well. So if you want it to match the whole phrase, you untick the allow partial match.